Anyway, welcome to today's episode. Before we get our special guest on, we've got, well, you'll see who we've got. You'll see who we've got. Obviously. So we've got Alex joining us from Drivers Collection and also his new venture starting here at Great Northern Classics. So we've got him on, had a good chat with him. Well, we've actually already had the chat. We're filming the intro after, but now you're seeing this before. So anyway, but what we wanted to do is show you these really cool wicker baskets from our friend from Spitfire.
David from Spitfire.
David from Spitfire. I was about to say Dan. Sorry, David. Yeah, so he's got these really cool wicker baskets with some very high quality detailing products.
Yeah, he has was it a shampoo, a glass cleaner, and a quick detail.
Quick detail.
Anti-static glass cleaner.
Yeah.
And I believe you get a few microfibers, a drying towel, and a wash mitt.
The bonus is it's all coating safe.
It's all coating safe.
So whatever coating you have, whether it's G-Technic from us or wherever else, they're all coating safe. Really good.
It's all
for high quality.
As well.
Really, really nicely.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want this for yourself, the retail is £60. We've got 10% off. So if you're local to Derby, you can pick one up from us. If you're not local, then you can order from his website, which is Spitfire Collection. You'll see it. Come on, put it in the bottom.
We'll put a link in, but
Yeah, we can't remember.
if you use code ATD10, you'll get 10% off this lovely wicker basket.
Anyway,
On to the episode.
so Alex has joined us from Drivers Collection, and also, well, some of you might know him from Drivers Collection.
Yeah.
And some might know you from GNC.
Yeah, as of recently.
As of recently. But yeah, I think most people that watch this will probably recognise you from Drivers Collection. But yeah, so welcome.
Good to be here. It's good
man.
to be here.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
So you've just started working for Great Northern Classics.
Yeah. 2.5 weeks in at the minute.
2.5 weeks.
Very early.
Yeah.
Very early.
Very early. Getting you straight in. Straight in.
Yeah.
Straight in.
You're having fun.
Do you know what? It's good. I'm enjoying it. It's to say it's a change of sort of career is a bit of an understatement from where I've come before.
Yeah, you mentioned. So what was it? Body panel beating?
Yeah, so last 15 years, like my day-to-day has been panel beating. So classic restoration, crash repair. So everything sort of from small repairs right through to full floors on the underside of cars and quickie fabrication work, all that sort of stuff.
So was it like a restoration shop you worked at, or was it like a body shop?
It wasn't like an insurance company or anything like that.
No. So we did all...
Panel beating doesn't exist there, does it?
Well, yeah, true. Yeah.
Just
replace the panel, yeah.
Yeah, I did a little bit of time doing that, and then left. That was actually weren't too far from here. That was in Ripley.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then when I left there, I went to go and work with a good friend of mine who I actually did my apprenticeship with, a place called WPS Paintworks.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically, the goal there was a one-stop shop in collaboration with CLP Automotive. So you could get mechanical work done, restoration, everything, basically, even down to like car transport. But as time's gone on, my knees and my back are not getting any better. It's like I hit 30 and then everything just sort of went to shit.
It does that.
Yeah.
It does that. It's literally downhill.
People will be shocked to see. I am 30. I know it's hard to believe.
I get the same. People mistake me. I still get ID'd.
People think I'm 50.
Yeah.
But
so you've done this since you left school then?
Yeah. Well, technically I was still at school when I started.
Okay.
Yeah, 15.
So I was 15 and started, doing paint and body, and more panel beater side when I was 15. Did my apprenticeship. Went to a place called John B's. Then after I'd done my time there, then went to a place called JH Pro Paint, which were specialised in Mark 1 Golf, water-cooled Volkswagens were their main thing. So that were like resto work, air suspension, custom work, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I remember that name. But the owner, what was the owner's name?
John Inchcliffe.
What car did he have? Did he have a Mark 1 Golf?
It is, yeah, cream one with an R32 in it.
R32, yes, yes, I remember that. So you worked there? Oh,
So-
wow.
Worked there for just short of 5 years.
That car was insane. I'm sure that was like one of the first
It was the first one.
R32
Yeah,
ones,
so it
wasn't it?
was the first. We believed it was the first one in the world, but it's
Yeah.
definitely the first one in the UK.
Yeah.
It's just incredible.
Still going.
I know the name John Hinchcliffe as well.
That
I'm
car
sure. I do.
was...
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I actually worked on a car.
Is the car still
the
like?
car's still going.
Still
yeah.
going, yeah.
A guy called Johnny that's got it. Lives
Oh,
a
so
bit
he's
further
got sold
north.
it now.
So he sold it to
Ah.
build sold it while I worked there, to be fair, to build a Swallowtail Mark 1. And then I think he's sold that now as well. So
Oh, wow.
I don't know what he's doing now. We're still staying contact type thing.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I think he's got a Mark 2 Golf and a Caddy.
Yeah.
And then Steve who
Still
works there,
remember
still
that
comes
car.
to Steve as well. So
Were you into cars when you left school, or was it like? Oh, sorry, when you was at school, or was it like? This is just something to do.
yeah, so so from being 8-year-old to 24, I played ice and roller hockey. So that was like my
I played roller hockey.
Yeah, no way,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, for Chilwell,
forget you
Olympia.
did.
Right. Well, I played for Killamarsh.
Okay, I'll be honest, that doesn't ring any bells to
No.
me. No.
So yeah, I played for a team called Chaos for
Okay.
years, and played ice hockey. Played for Sutton, and
Yeah,
then played
anything-
at Sheffield and stuff as well.
Okay, yeah.
Um,
Did you do like tryouts for the Steelers juniors or whatever?
yeah,
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff.
See, I got offered for the Panthers juniors to do like a tryout, but I'd never ice skated. I still never have ice skated.
Have you not?
No.
I've done it once and I scared myself. Honestly, I have a fear of falling because someone once told me, like, if you fall, just make sure you clench your
Oh, yeah.
fist.
Oh,
Yeah, the fingers. Because
Clench your nose as well, apparently.
yeah, no, that just I went once. I was maybe 10, and it scared the living daylights out of me.
Yeah. Well, it's fun though.
You know, if you can, is
I'm a
it
rollerblade.
true that if you can rollerblade, you can skate? Like,
Yeah, within
reason.
The basics definitely.
yeah,
So yeah, if you put a set of ice skates on after like being able to roller skate,
you should be all right.
you'd be
To
a
be
lot
fair,
better.
I was okay at it
Yeah.
because I'd already
Yeah, the basics.
done
Are,
rollerblading and whatever else. But yeah, I wouldn't do that now. I'm scared.
Yeah, I
for
do
my life.
miss it, to be fair. It's something I'd like to get back into, but probably end up breaking my neck.
I saw a video.
So that was one of the reasons I packed in was because of work
Yeah.
and just getting up early and having to go to work and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
the other one was I started building the Mark 1, but my interest in cars and hockey overlapped massively.
Okay.
So it weren't like, oh, I've stopped playing hockey, now I'm into cars.
Yeah.
The car thing just gradually got
Yeah.
Takes
I'm
over.
more into it, and then
It
eventually
does take over.
that took priority when I was
Yeah.
building the golf. So that's kind of how that went. That happened. I just started dropping training sessions to work on the car, and then eventually just
Yeah.
packed in 3/4 away through a season. So
Cars do that.
yeah,
It's
and
like a
money.
drug.
Yeah,
It's weird. Like, I don't think people that aren't into cars try to explain it to my missus, like being into cars and doing this, doing that. She's never really understood. She kind of understands
She
it
likes,
now
to have
after
a
we.
nice, she likes to have a nice car. It's like,
Well, no, we modified a car, didn't we, for a birthday
Oh,
a little
yeah.
bit, didn't we?
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
since then,
day presses.
we painted the wheel, we fitted an performance body kit to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
We
carbon,
lowered it a
carbon
little
splitter.
bit. Yeah, and she buzzing. And to be fair, painted the wheels.
She curbed one
over a year,
yesterday,
she
was it?
curbed one yesterday.
That's good.
Right.
Oh, no, it's well over a year ago. It's like 2 years ago. It's 2 years in March. Yeah,
Oh, to be fair, yeah.
yeah.
that's
So she's
awesome
done.
then.
She's done all right. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
decent.
If she listens to this, which she probably won't, and I said this the other day,
I'll
like,
snip this bit out for her. especially for her.
she's actually a really good driver.
We don't lean into stereotypes here anyway, do we?
Yeah, not at all. She's Asian, a woman.
It's an equal opportunities place. This.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, some people just don't understand the whole car thing and the obsession that we had. You're probably like, I mean, the more we've spoke, the more we've kind of realized that obviously, as well as mutual friends, we have a lot of mutual interests and whatnot when it comes to the car scene and whatever else. And we've kind of grown up in the same car scene.
Yeah, it's a bit scary, really. Like I say, we've known each other 2.5 weeks, and then the more that we speak, we're like, "Oh yeah, did you go here? Did you do this? So and so, or
You know, so and so.
We probably have like walked past each other at some point and just not realised.
Ultimate Dogs.
The thing is, we've not been to. I said something earlier to Aaron because I was like, last time we went to a car show, TikTok didn't exist. And neither did Instagram Reels, because we haven't been to a show for about 5-6 years.
Yeah. So I bet your like perceived vision of what shows are like now through TikTok and the negative side that's on social media, because you get these like, you know, the clown music and all that sort of shit. That's interesting to see like what your view would be of that.
It's a weird one because we spoke about it quite a lot. Our love for the whole kind of car scene has come back since we moved here last year. Before that, we just stuck to work as work. We work on cars and that's it. We go away and just that's it.
For the last 5 years, I've had a Vauxhall Combo. This is my only car as well, because I was doing my own thing. So
I mean, I've had a modified car, but that's it. It's my daily driver.
Yeah.
And I like it because it's modified. It looks nice, and that's it. Like
you struggle to fully lose it, but that just like you just stop going to shows and being in the cliques and doing all the thing, but still having your own interesting cars, which is sound.
I mean, the last shows we did were
it was Fitted, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, Fitted. Yeah, and that was with the last kind of group of shows we did. We used to. I don't know if you remember a company called Shop and Shine Detailing Shop.
No, I can't say
Derby. So it was a guy called Dom, friend of ours, and he was next door to my old place. And I mean, that's how.
Well, originally you were in the shop with him, weren't you?
Yeah, we shared a unit together. And again, he used to go to a lot of these shows with a trade stand or whatever else, Ultimate Dogs, Fitted, whatever else. So we used to go along with him to help out and whatnot. So the last few kind of occasions we did shows was working at these shows. And then after that, it kind of, we kept saying, "Oh yeah, I'd like to go." Worked.
It was a couple of years, wasn't it? Like we were like, "Oh, we'll go to Ultimate Dobbs," and we just never did.
It just never happened again. And then it was one of those that, you know, all the cliques that we used to have, all the guys we used to know, everyone's kind of grown up and done their own thing, and you kind of don't see the same people anymore. And it kind of just fell out of it.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right in what you're saying. As you get older, your taste and changes in cars. Like when I look back at so I'm 30 now, but 10 years ago, what my taste in cars were to what it is now is completely different.
Yeah.
But if you don't move with what shows and your group aren't all on that same level, it's quite difficult to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to go to this show," and then everyone's like, "No, I'm not bothered. It's trash. I like this now." So you just having a big circle is a good thing, and then having your you're tight with at the same time.
That's what we used to it, really. In fact, a lot of the names you mentioned back in the past, obviously you're from Sheffield.
Yeah.
So a lot of the names you mentioned were guys that I knew and they were part of the clique I was in. So it was a weird one that, like, you know, I don't really see those guys anymore because, well, we don't go to any car shows anymore. And they might do a couple of events here or there, but
this is the whole thing, like what we speak about with doing events and doing shows and stuff like that. Sometimes a show don't have to be like a 10 out of 10. It's flat out the park. The show's the excuse to see your friends.
Exactly.
You go, you have some music, you have some good food, and it's the excuse, the meeting point. So when you've got a really good friend of mine, Jack, moved down south. He's back up north for a bit now, but he will be going back down south. So for me and him, if there's a show on like in the Midlands, it's 2 hours for you, it's 2 hours for me. Let's meet up and and that's the excuse, because otherwise it's hard to
it's hard to agree on a date when the show's already agreed for you. It's there.
Half the day you get around and you've probably only seen half the show because you're just like waffling shit to people and having a good time.
That was exactly it. And to be fair, a lot of people used to ask, "Oh, you're going to this show? You're going to that show?" I was like, "No, I find these shows boring now. Kind of seen the cars, and that's it." You know, I used to enjoy the you were talking about Ultimate Dubs earlier and getting drunk with someone, you know, talking to them. We used to do that all the time. That was the normal. You meet these random people and all of a sudden become mates.
Remember that one year we ended up in that club? There was a club near
Pussycats.
I don't know if
I think it's called Pussycats now.
Yeah.
Telford.
Yeah.
There's always that one proper rascal club that's at UD.
Everyone. We went downstairs.
Or the Weatherspoons.
Yeah, we all ended up in the Weatherspoons. I went from the Weatherspoons to the club, literally.
Is that the day we went?
The Weatherspoons was
buffet?
across from the club.
Yes.
Is that the one?
Right, that's the one, yeah.
Is that one?
We went to the buffet first. Was it Cosmos?
Yes.
We went to Cosmos as a big
Jeez,
group.
I forgot about that.
And then, I'm not going to name a name, but there was someone trying to avoid, like, shit, let's run, get away from him because, and then he just kept following us wherever we went. Yeah. But yeah, that was funny. That was really funny. Those drunken nights were dark. And the next day, just hanging for the rest of the show.
Yeah, because we were working as well with that.
Yeah. And my worst one was Players. I got into the hangar at Players once, the one down in Essex. I've never been to Goodwood, but the one in Essex, when I had my E46, got into the hangar and we went out and there was a few of us. So there was Big Daz, Rob, it was me and I can't remember who else there was. And we ended up at some club / strip club.
I was just going to say, do you know Rob Allen?
Rob Allen.
Because you were talking about, when he was mentioning RB Throwners Club the other day, you knew a few of the people.
So I don't know him, that group, through the IB for Owners Club.
You know him through
CLP. Through CLP.
Yeah.
Simon used to work at CLP.
Right.
And he's mates with Phil.
Yeah.
And then Tom, I was part next to 1 year at UD, so I knew him before he even met Simon. Well, say knew. We were part next to each other. We spoke type thing, and then got each other on social media type thing. And then, but now Phil's a good mate through Simon, just because he's an absolute legend.
Hopefully he watches this.
Yeah, maybe.
Still remember you. Yeah.
So that's kind of like how we know, not through the same thing, because I've never actually had an Ibiza, but just that it's still quite, they're still quite good friends.
Yeah, it's so strange because like with them lot, it was the Ibiza Owners Club. We all had Ibizas. We used to go to GTI International. Don't know if you ever went to GTI International. Love that show. It was one of my favorites. And again, show-wise, wasn't like the coolest show or anything like that. It was just a place to be because everyone was there. Everyone was like camping or whatever. Even back in the day, Edition 38.
Edition, I mean, Edition like now has kind of grown with its audience, to be fair. Yeah. So the last year, I think it was pre-COVID, the last one that they did that was the later one in the September one. And it just turned basically into pure carnage. They've put a stop to it. Yeah. And now the early edition
videos from that.
Really top tier cars. Really? They've opened it up to everything now. So it's not just
it's still going.
Yeah, so early edition is now main edition, basically. And it's good. 10 out of 10. Like,
so it's not like a weekend anymore, it's just the one day.
Well, we make it a weekend because they've got a hotel on site. So if your car's in the show, then you'd book the hotel, which is like 80 quid or whatever for the hotel, have a few beers in the bar, and then the show's the next day, and it's just a good like social show.
Okay. Is that the one was it at a football stadium or rugby stadium or something like that?
It used to be at the rugby stadium.
Because I remember going to early edition again when I had my E46.
We will have been at the same show.
Yeah, 100%. This is going back years ago.
If John's Cream Golf was there that year.
It would have been, yeah.
I had a white Mark II at the time, Mark II Golf with white teledials on it, like white on white.
I feel like I remember that.
You might remember. To be honest, again, I'll probably recognise the car. And again, vice versa, you'd probably recognise.
There's no doubt because we've not shown each other photos.
I know, I'm like, I want to show you my 36.
So, I used to have it was the black. So, I had the Bora, Volkswagen Bora, because I kept my wheels. I had Autostrada Monzas.
Yeah.
Teledials, basically. Literally, when you said Teledials, I was like, they just came to my head. So I used to have the Monzas, and I had them on my Bora. Then I had my E46, didn't I? It was black, and then I had the Monzas on that. What else did I take? I did have my Ibiza as well, but I only took that to GTI International. But yeah, we again, like I say, probably recognise this cars from back in the day.
100%.
It's nuts, absolutely nuts. But yeah, talking to shows then, so obviously you've got.
Yeah, not just solely me. I can't take full credit for it. But yeah, I'm founder and co-owner of the Drivers Collection.
Yeah.
How many is there? Like, how many founded it?
I founded it on my own.
Oh, you founded it on your own. Okay.
Then Liam and Chloe have a huge part to play in basically taking it from what it was into the next level, because running something like this on your own is tough.
Yeah.
Out of hour, obviously, when I'm at work, I'm not can't really do the stuff that I need to do. It's all out of hours and dinner break, phone calls, emails, all that sort of stuff. So, the story of, so I didn't even know Liam that well. Liam is a friend of a friend. So Ben is somebody I went to college with. It was a part of the family, the TDC family. And he worked with Liam, and at the time they worked at Alford's.
Right, okay.
I'm never going to let you forget that. He's like, the guy is a fucking genius. Like, I cannot speak any highly of this bloke. Super clever, got a really good job, and he's absolutely flying. But back then he worked. He did work at Alford's, so
never forget.
Yeah, that's where all greatness starts, apparently. So. So we got introduced at VW Festival the year before we did the first show. The first show, I actually had a photo shoot at the original venue for the car with Superfly Autos. And we were like, Jesus, we should do a car meet here or something. Long story short, we didn't pay for the venue because the venue was like on a ticket sale basis. So every car that came through the door, for us to be able to do it financially, we paid them per car that came through the door, and then split the car to cover the insurance, the marketing, all the trophies, all that sort of stuff. So that was originally going to be a meet. Then we were like, well, to do it legitimately, it might as well be a show. So we decided to do a show. And then 5 weeks before the event, the council closed the venue down because it was council owned, and then he was renting it, and we were putting the event on with him.
Where was that?
So that was Sheffield Aerodrome, Norton Aerodrome. And that was that was proper meltdown stuff, because bearing in mind I was moving into my first house, so money was super tight. I'd thrown a lot of money into it, and realistically, I'd already taken a loan out, to be honest with you. And to refund all the tickets on the original spend, I would have done it. But how? We were like, shit. So it was a big, nightmare. So what we ended up doing was, at the time I was working at a place called Massive Trucks. And I was like, all my dinner breaks, I was going to the toilet for like an hour at a time. And I was on Google Earth, and me and Liam, he pulled through, and he was like, I'm at work all day today, basically, when I get a chance on Google Earth, just like, this is a big field. What's this? This is a big field. That's when we stumbled across the Air Club.
Right. Okay.
Which is where our September event is now based. And I've got a lot of loyalty towards that Air Club. So a lot of people do ask, why have we not moved when it sells out every year now, well in advance? And the answer is because I stick to my word. I promised. They helped us out in that first year by letting us pay after the event because we had no money.
Fair play.
So they helped us out. So in return,
you stick to it.
We stick to it. So
when was the first one then?
2019 was the first one. It's actually called Steel City Classics, the first one. And then we ended up rebranding it in 2020 was COVID. So then it was basically a full restart in 2021 under just running it as the Drivers Collection show rather than Steel City and just, to have it. And plus there's already an outfit in Sheffield called Steel City, which kind of didn't realise at the time. So. And then originally it was in Sheffield. Now it's in Worksop, so we can't really call it Steel City Classics or whatever. And then you're in Worksop, which is famous for steel. So, but that's the long story. How Liam got involved. The short story is he properly stuck his neck out for me, having not even knowing me that well, which really speaks volumes of what type of bloke he is. And we come to the agreement after the second event that we'd done that he'd have more involvement in what we were doing to help me with the financials, the paperwork, all that sort of stuff. I mean, I was a panel beater. I was pretty much out my depth, not in the marketing side, and I was really comfortable with all that. But then when it came to a big part of his job at that point was risk assessments, fire safety, all those channels.
It's stuff you don't think about.
Even down to the accounts, because we have to register it as a business, even though we don't take any profit from it. It's still making money to build. So we have to pay tax.
Yeah. Of
How it
course.
is.
Hi, Abby. You want to?
Yeah, we're recording.
Join us if
Yeah.
you want. Hi. That's fine.
For those listening on Spotify, they're going to be like,
What the hell
What the
has
hell's
just gone
going on?
Yeah.
Gaffer's walked in. That's what's happened. The gaffer.
Where were we? We're talking about.
Your driver's collection.
Yeah. So and Liam's part in it all, and his wife, Chloe, as well.
Yeah.
Chloe did all our clothing, graphic design, flyers. Her and Katie, who's her best mate or one of her best mates, do our merch stand and stuff, and just to add that, because I do think a lot of stuff needs a woman's touch. It's just like, blokes are pretty shit when it comes to presenting stuff and all that.
Yeah, I get that.
So there's definitely a woman's touch in what we do, and like the missuses of all the team are all involved in everything that we do.
Man.
They call themselves the driver's wives. Go out for cocktails and bottomless brunches and all that lot, and come back tatered most of the time. So
That's the way to do it, isn't it? Yeah.
I think I saw a picture on your Instagram. There's quite a big group of you in there.
there's 20 plus.
How is there?
Oh, wow.
So we have people that are friends of that like muck in on the day that don't have loads of involvement through the year. They'll muck in on the show days. And then even down to like all my family. I have my dad's on the gate. My mum's helps out.
Cool.
Nice.
Chloe's mum and her partner, they help out. It's a full right. Who can we trust and who do we know to be able to let's have
it's nice though, isn't it, when that happens? Like we experienced that. Obviously,
when we
first
setting
moved
up,
in. So we briefly mentioned we had an open day here. And again, that whole lead up, we had 6 weeks to get our unit ready.
Yeah.
Cars prepped.
Yeah, we gave ourselves a deadline, didn't we?
Yeah, we gave ourselves a deadline. So we had 6 weeks to get the unit ready, prep all the cars. Bear in mind, we had 11 cars we're displaying as ones we've done. And then, it was just all hands on deck, wasn't it? As soon as we turned up. Again, like you were talking about the wives, we had our missuses and their friends turn up, painting, doing whatever. And then even on the day, just going around. It's
got to be done.
Selling Project New Donuts, whatever else. Just full on involved, and it's wicked. It's wicked.
That's exactly how it is. It's a big team. There's a lot of people that have. So like Joe is another one who, without his involvement, so he does like 80% of our trophies, and they're all handmade. Okay. So him and his dad makes the bases. He makes all the trophies up. So like a lot of the stuff that we do, he's a big part of what we do, down to again, another side on the logistics of it, the parking's down to Joe. Because if you look at the lines from the plane, they are literally someone's put a laser on them. And Joe is the when it comes to the details, the planning and stuff, he has a big involvement in all that. So he's like another one.
A show though, can't it?
Oh, just big time, man. When you look at our first year or our second year compared to year 5, it's like a different event. It's nuts. It's like a military operation how we park, because we've got to get just short of 500 cars through one gate in 2 hours and not have any traffic onto the road. So you've got to get them in quick.
So all your shows are just one day shows at the minute then?
Yeah. We've done, so when we did Magna, we did an evening event and then that went over, and then the main show was on the Sunday. We did an invite only thing on the Saturday night at Magna. But I ain't doing camping. We get asked a lot about camping and weekend shows and all that sort of stuff.
An extra level of...
I'm like a bit of a control freak with certain stuff and how I want stuff. And the one thing that I've had to learn through all this is you can't control what everybody does. You've got to set strict guidelines of how things are and hope that people abide to it. But you've got to kind of be able to cope with anything that can happen outside of your control as well. And doing a weekend show, especially if there's alcohol involved, I couldn't handle it.
Takes one dickhead.
Yeah,
basically.
As we've seen it, how many times in the past at other events?
Oh yeah,
again, booze and cars, and
it just doesn't work well. Doesn't work well. Like I said, there was a stage of, again, I'm not going to mention the show, but we were camping, and next thing you know, we'd set up camp, and the next thing you know, there's a guy in an S3 in the camping.
Dude. I was there. I was next to it.
Do you know when the security guard came and snatched his keys and broke his key?
Yeah, well, do you know, so at that point there, the way that happened,
Sorry, I completely this out. What show was it?
no, I'd rather not say because I do know the organizer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So people, and the guy is a
You've told me this
rock
before,
solid
but-
guy.
Yeah.
He is rock solid.
Well, the group of guys are brilliant.
Yeah,
the ones I've met, they're brilliant.
Bang on, not their fault.
Yeah.
They had
No, it's not.
security.
Again, it takes
It's
one
dickhead
dickhead. One dickhead.
and you can't control what everybody does. So this is no shade on that show. I can't.
no.
That's one of the events that I grew up going to and that I absolutely adore. Just to put that out there. But I was there. I was there. I seen
mad.
like.
I was mad because I remember being
do you-
right there.
Do you know when it happened and then there was loads of people chirping him?
Yeah.
Were you stood there then?
Yes.
So was I. So do you
Yeah.
know the Geordie guy that was there? That was chirping him, was telling him that he was saying your mum buys shit from your mum's got Gucci flip flops from Littlewood's catalogue and all that lot. So that was Jake who was. I was stood next to him.
Like, that's just
Yeah, he was like, oh, I can't
That
do
was
the Geordie
years
accent,
ago.
but big up Jake Kitchen.
What actually
like,
happened?
So there was a guy. Bear in mind where the camping thing is. Obviously, you have the runs where the cars
Yeah,
can drive
yeah, yeah.
up and down, and it's in a field. And bear in mind, it was damp. I remember it being a little bit damp. It had not been raining. I can't remember, but it was a little bit damp. And there was a guy. Was it a blue S3?
Yeah, but it was a rental, weren't it? It was.
It?
He got it for the weekend.
Oh, so it was a new one.
Yeah, back then, so it would have been
Weren't even his car.
an 8P or whatever they are.
2018 it was.
Yeah. And he was just at that point he started ragging it up and down, and
Everybody was going
just bouncing off the
ballistic trying to
limiter
stop him because he was just
This
driving
is
like
a
an idiot.
campsite.
Yeah.
And then, the security guard came over and he snatched the key. And I just remember, I remember the security guard doing it, but then I remember hearing people saying, oh, he snapped the key in the ignition or this, that, or whatever. So, I dread to think what happened to his rental. But
You can't. That goes back to that. You can't control what everybody does on weekends like that. The security was right. They had plenty of security
well
on.
within the right.
As fast as it was all happening, it all happened basically.
It was
So it's no shade on them. And then after that, they also stepped up everything that they were doing.
Yeah.
So they handled everything as well as they could. But what the fuck, man? We were both there at the same time. So when we're saying we've been stood at the same place,
we literally
little did we know it was there when that happened. But yeah, Jake, when he's like, your fucking mum buys a fucking flip flop from a little catalog and all that. Like,
I actually remember that. That's actually brilliant. That's brilliant.
And that's nuts, man. That's nuts. But yeah, it was going off. That was but we was camped like
So from memory,
40 foot away.
Yeah, we were. I just remember there was a big tree that everyone was using to shit against. Because I remember catching a guy because
Never camped near the trees.
Never camped near the. We were on the other side of the tree, and the amount of times Daz at the time, Big Daz, he had this fucking torch that was just. Bear in mind back then LEDs didn't really exist, and he had the brightest torch going, and we could hear some rustling, and it was like, bear in mind middle of the night, and he just goes. There's a guy up against the tree in pure shock. So funny. I've really missed those days. Bear in mind, I hate camping.
Yeah.
Hate it with a passion.
That was that. So that was the one that when I was saying about like we do these like as a team.
Yeah.
Up until COVID, that was every year. Like
Without
every
fail,
year that was
we were
it.
camping. Yeah.
That edition, but like when you were saying about GTI International, for us it was Bug Jam. So I started going Bug Jam when I was like 12.
Yeah.
So
See, I've almost been to Bug Jam a few times. In fact, with the IOC lot,
so good.
I've just in fact, the last time I was going to go was, I feel like it was either I can't remember if it was before or after the lockdown. Can't remember now, but I was going to go, but then literally that weekend, because I was going to go camp with the IOC lot, the Ibiza Owners Club, but then my back went. I think.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, I think it was my shoulder. I think I trapped a nerve in my shoulder or something. I was like, "There's no way in hell I'm sleeping
before lockdown. I think
no chance."
It's good.
So I just cancelled it.
If you get a chance, I don't know. We haven't been for a few years, to be fair, just because the tickets are a fucking fortune now. But
Yeah.
there's some good. We had such good weekends, like Santa Pod, drag racing, drinking cans. perfect.
It's
It's just
mint, innit?
perfect
It's
when the
bliss.
sun's out. So good.
It's bliss. I do really miss those days. Really do. To be honest, the best camping trip was we did Le Mans with the same guys, and it's just phenomenal. Well, I've spoken about it so many times, and I said, "Well, I really want to go again. I need to go and just get it out of my system again." Even though I don't want, and I keep asking the missus, I was like, "Would you camp? Would you do it?" And she was like, "I've been camping before." Oh no, you've been glamping. You've not set up a tent before.
Do you have to go camping at Le Mans?
Hey?
You have to go camping for Le Mans.
No, you don't have to. You can stay in a hotel, but again, it's like
See, I've never camped at a car show.
Haven't you?
I've always done hotels.
Oh,
Wild,
see,
man, you've not lived.
Yeah, it's just part of it. It's just I don't know
All
what it
these
is.
reasons
Getting up in
why
the morning.
I really enjoy it
Yeah.
means that I don't want to do one. I'm not hosting one ever.
It's way too messy.
It's
No.
just-
I mean, the carnage we used to leave behind. I mean, we were always tidy. We'd always tidy up after
Yeah,
ourselves.
bag
and
everything
whatever.
up, make it easy for
My
them.
God, some of the
people,
clubs
yeah,
that just
really
never
bad.
would do that.
No.
So I can imagine the cleanup crew after, just like it'd be like the aftermath of Glastonbury. It's almost like that.
I've litter picked after a festival before. It's
Oh, yeah.
horrendous.
Download, haven't you?
Yeah, Donington Park.
Just
yeah.
no chance. I'm not cleaning up after. Yeah.
You find like bags of piss, and it's horrible.
Yeah, no,
Not for me.
No. So
I feel
you're
like
making the right decision.
Your
not doing
show,
it.
yeah, your show's got like I feel like it's classy. Like,
Yeah, that's-
and the camping part takes away that element of.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
You do lose that kind of not exclusivity.
No,
that's the wrong
There's
word.
there's a couple
but-
of events that do it very, very well, and how they do it. For me, one of my favourite of the year is, and you don't even need to be into Volkswagens, is Viva Skeg Vegas that's at
Viva
Lincoln.
Skeg
I've never heard of that.
Predominantly an air
Oh,
cooled
I
show.
have heard of that. Yeah.
Honestly, like Toby and Sal that run that, unbelievable.
Yeah.
The traditions and stuff that they've got, because it's been going for like 15, 20. Sorry, Toby, I have no idea how long you've been going, but for ages. So they have like loads of traditions and like just stuff like Daft Fancy Dress. And they did penny farthing jousting in the middle of the day, and just like best deck chair competition. And
Where's the show? Oh, obviously, it's in Skeggy,
it's
but where?
near Tatchell Lakes. It's not even in Skeggy.
Oh, right.
It's just called Viva Skeg Vegas. I don't know if it was originally in Skeggy, but that's now like on our calendar as we have to do it.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere and the people that go, it's so fucking weird, but in the most brilliant way. It's meant, absolutely meant. And yeah, that entire weekend,
Makes
I
me
am
think
tated from morning till night. It's brilliant.
Oh, it's great.
What's that show that Adi went to? Was it Goodwood? Where
Yeah, that's Revival.
Revival, where everyone dresses up in,
Yeah,
yeah,
Revivals.
yeah.
Yeah.
and
Revival.
then you drive around like old jeeps and
Goodwood
stuff.
is something I need to go. You've been.
I've been
haven't
twice
you?
now, yeah, I love
really,
Goodwood.
really want to go down there.
Long drive,
Just
but-
never had chance. So, yeah, it is. Yeah, but again, when
Worth
you're
it.
into cars, we spoke about. But in
Yeah.
fact, we were talking to Lewis from Scona about when you're into cars, driving isn't a problem.
Part of the
You're-
fun, like going
Yeah.
from one side of the country to the other to go to. So like we do players every year.
Yeah.
And I've done Revival and Festival of Speed.
I was
I'd
gonna
like
say,
to do
have you
retro rides down there, to be fair, because that looks pretty good. But
Yeah.
it's always, I'm busy as hell beginning of year, and then it's in May, and then we've got our Cromford event in May.
Yeah.
My brain can't process planning weekends away and all that sort of stuff. I just
Yeah, I
take it
get that.
sort of.
I get that.
So I missed the boat on that this year, but I would like to do it. But yeah, players we do every single year. We do Friday till Monday and make a weekend of it. Same thing.
Classic
Full
or
yeah,
both?
players classic. Full team of us go down. We'll convoy down like 6, 7 cars go down all together.
That's the fun
Make
bit.
a
That's the other
weekend
part
of
of
it.
it. The convoy.
Yeah,
Last
the
time I went to
convoy.
Players
Really
Classic,
miss.
my
A load of cool
Convoys.
cars, all
So
like
cool.
it's just nothing better.
Yeah.
Sunny day,
Yeah.
just like it's just mega. It's
Bliss,
mega.
isn't it? Yeah, I that's the bit I really miss. The kind of getting into a group and
Yeah.
you're getting up early in the morning. You don't care getting up at 5, 6 in the morning or whatever it is, and then getting in your car and driving somewhere. It's like I say, part of the fun.
Yeah.
I really miss it. In fact, the first convoy we did together was Tracks, wasn't
First
it?
time I met you was in the car. Yeah, we did a convoy.
Yeah, we did a convoy in Beamers to because we're all a part of. Well, we weren't even part of a club, were we? We went with
Well, it was on a club stand, weren't we? Yeah, Tracks.
Tracks, yeah. But yeah, again, that was fun. I mean, Tracks isn't really the show for us.
Yeah.
but
the
it's a
drifting's
different
good.
sort of vibe.
Yeah,
But
so it's a bit hectic.
yeah,
It's probably
yeah.
it's a bit hectic, but yeah, that they do what they do very well. They serve
100%.
what people want
Was
to
that
see
even
at
still
tracks
going
to get.
anymore? Was it?
Yeah, it's still
so.
going. So it had a year off, and then they I don't know. I don't really know what happened, but I think it is back for this year. But yeah, again, not my. I like the drifting. I did it one year, 2019. That were. I did
Where
it.
did we go? It wasn't 29. No, it was earlier.
2014?
Wasn't that early?
Yeah, it was. It was a long time ago.
No, it wasn't that early.
It was.
It wasn't that early.
Well, thinking about it,
I don't think
actually,
it
it might
was.
have, I think it was actually 2018. It was 2018 I went. So I was on the PVW stand.
Okay.
So they invited like the feature cars and stuff from that year to go and put a display. They do it every year.
Whatever one it was, I'm sure it was the first time they had BDC.
Yeah.
The British Drift Car
2014.
Championship. Was it 2014?
Yeah.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah.
That's wild.
I know. It's mad, isn't it?
Wow.
Welcome to the In Detail podcast, where everybody is old as shit.
If we rearrange those letters, we can make that.
It's nuts.
Old as shit.
Yeah. Oh, that's weird. But no, I really want to get in. We've already said, so Drivers Collection. Tell us more. So you've got, obviously, Cromford event coming up.
Yeah, so we're 2019 first one, reset in 2021. That was basically like everybody forgot what we'd done in 2019. And by the time it was a successful event, we had 280 cars thereabouts on that one, which is all right for a first one.
Yeah.
But really, 2021 was like a full reset on what we'd done. And that's when the penny dropped, where we were like, 2019, it was, let's get through this, make sure that it all goes to plan and everything's all right, and kind of just try not to disappoint anyone. That was literally, if people go away and say that was all right, then we've done all right, because it's the first time we had no fucking idea what we were doing. People come away from it and they're like, it weren't just good for a first show, it was a good show. It was good, they had a good day, it was sound. We did 2021, the feedback was fucking insane.
Really?
But my part in that was, I was full relentless on terms of messaging people, you need to come to this, do it, like absolutely non-stop, because I was like, it fell into place, and we're like, shit, we've got something here. This is like doing an event that's very cost effective, because if you were displaying at that point, it was £8 a ticket.
Oh, wow.
And it's still cheap. Like, we're still a tenner.
Fucking hell.
Which is like, what? You can't even get a fucking Mackey's.
I know you can't.
So public's 15 quid at both events.
Yeah.
If you're displaying, it's a tenner. But we do like £2,000 plus on trophies. So when you work it out, how much we spend on trophies compared to the display cars that are turning up. Cromford, we don't. As expenses are a bit higher on that one, and we trim that one back a little bit. It's more a meet than a show.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole ethos was give as much back as we can to the people that deserve it, who build the cars, who are in there busting knuckles, doing all this, and be an event that's for the owners. The public will follow. For the first few years, I didn't even advertise to the public.
Really?
I was just like, no, I just want it to be people with the cars. Then when the word spreads at how good the quality is, then we'll introduce the public. We never take more on than we can handle. That's always the gradual. Everyone's got to be good. It's got to be controlled. It's got to be also for my blood pressure.
How many people did you have at your first show? Well, how many people did you have at the 2021 show?
The 2021 was 380 cars. So it weren't. It was more than that. I think it was just short of 400.
Right,
okay. We weren't far off selling it out. 380, 400, something like that off top of the dome. And then the 22 we sold out. 23 we sold out. 24 we sold out. Now, in the middle of that, we did Magna, which sold out, and then we did Cromford last year, which sold out. And then this year we've released, because the Cromford one, well, we lost money on it, but I knew we were going to. That weren't really the point of it. The point was we've got a little bit of financial stability in terms of what we're doing. I just want to, we got together and we're like, I want to do something that nobody's doing in this country. So if we lose, whatever, not bothered. As long as we can survive through this, let's just put a show on that's almost like an art exhibition or a big photo shoot. So it was less cars, beautiful venue,
I
evening
mean, I
setting.
saw the pictures. I mean, we were talking about Chris, a mutual friend of ours. So
Yeah.
Chris is an old customer of ours. In fact, obviously he'll be watching. He always does. But a lot of people know his car, the Escort RS Turbo.
Yeah.
Gorgeous car, and we've looked after it for years now. And he mentioned last year, so obviously I knew of Drivers Collection because we'd been so out of the scene.
Yeah, as you left, we really probably did our first show.
Yeah,
that weren't
exactly.
a big thing.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it's just notched on from there forward.
But I kept seeing Drivers Collection, and I knew of this kind of group, clique, show, whatever it was. Like I said, I was out of the scene. I didn't know what it was. And then Chris kept mentioning it, saying, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. We had his car in because we had it at our open day. Because your show was when? In May?
So, yeah, that was 18th of May last
18th
year.
of May. So our open day was the 6th.
Yeah.
So we had his car in for about a month while we were prepping and whatever else. And then finished the car. Then we had it on display in here for a bit at GMC. And then, yeah, he was like, can I pick my car up on 17th, 8th? I think it was on the 18th, wasn't it?
It was on the day, yeah.
On the day he picked it up.
He literally
So then
drove, like you said,
said-
he drove straight there from.
Yeah. He picked it up and went straight to you.
Yeah.
And then he kept singing the praises of you guys, saying, oh, the show, incredible, the scenery, whatever else. And as soon as I saw the pictures and videos, I was like, that is mint. That is my sort of jam.
The big thing what the achievement, because me and Liam didn't fully agree on it to start with.
Right, okay.
He was a bit like, I don't get it, because I'm all passion and let's do this because it's sick, and then get like loads of anxiety as we're going through it, and then stress out, and he can't. We've got a really good like yin and yang.
Yeah.
So I have these daft ideas. He tells me if it's financially viable to be able to do what we want to do. Most of the time, yeah. Sometimes, no.
Yeah.
We had a bit of a, well, if we're doing this, we need to make sure that we get good coverage from it, and it can be a stepping stone for what we want to do going forward. Because the Magna event was a really popular one as well that people wanted back. Anyway, from that, then I was like, I just want to do a show that doesn't feel like you're in the UK.
Yeah.
It feels like you're at like
A European
somewhere in
show.
Europe.
A European
These
show.
European shows have that same
The
kind of vibe.
cars
yeah.
are the caliber of
Yeah.
like excess car nights.
Yeah.
That's got a relaxed evening, sunset, beautiful venue, the whole package, and what actually ended up. It all the vision fully came to life, but all the way through this at the same time, I was kind of like, am I going a bit fucking insane here? And he did tell me I were a few times, and we charge. Even when I think back to this, it was absolutely ridiculous. If you were displaying, it was £6. We charged £6 to display your car, and that included car and driver for entry.
Wow.
And then advance tickets were a tenner. So 2 people to go to that event was £16.
Wow.
And then I'm like, I can't believe we lost. Oh yeah, and then on top of that as well, obviously our sponsors pay us for sponsorship.
Yeah.
But I was like trying to explain what the concept of it was, and they were like, what, it's less cars, it's a night event, it's not that any of them didn't believe in it because they all turned up for it. I was like, well, fuck it, I'm not charging you for it, like we'll do it as a year's thing. You just trust me and turn up, you can have it for nothing. So we didn't get any sponsorship back in.
Right.
It was all his own money, and we charged £6 for people to get in. And then I'm like, oh fuck, we lost quite a lot of money. But the result of that is that now it catapulted us for this year and for September. The following show after that, we put tickets on 6 weeks later, and then it sold out 6 weeks earlier than the year before. So it was 8.5 weeks before the event fully sold out for display cars, which is fucking nuts. And then we released Cromford. So we released it at 7 o'clock at night 2 nights ago. As of 24 hours after that, we were at over 500 applications in 24 hours. Wow. And our Instagram rocketed on. So when you do your dashboard, just short of 50,000 page views in 24 hours.
Wow.
I was just like,
Well, the thing is, it's when you're looking at the caliber of cars, like one of the reasons we kind of fell out because of the whole kind of car scene and whatever else And it was almost the same argument that a lot of people of our age that had been in the game had said was the quality of the cars.
Yeah.
You go to a lot of these car shows, and again, I'm not going to name any car shows, but one of the biggest VW shows, it used to be, the caliber of cars used to be unreal. Like when you pay, especially when you're paying as a punter to go in to see these cars, you want them to be quality. I remember one of the last years I went, and it's that whole kind of the same argument of it's only got air ride and rotor form wheels. But it was pretty much that.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't want to pay to see that.
No. And I think and like, I don't know if I've touched on this with you before, I'm like, there is no level of car enthusiasm that everybody has to be.
No.
So there is you guys who've got a nice car that they wash it on a weekend, it's really tidy and they really look after it. And they might take it to you guys to have it ceramic coated or something like that, but it's a standard thing. You're still a car enthusiast. That's great. You should be able to enjoy your hobby. You've got driveway guys that have got a shoestring budget that are turning spanners on the drive to build cool stuff. And then you've got checkbook guys, or not checkbook, but people who've got a bit more money, might build the cars themselves, whatever, that do full-scale builds. And I think as things as we were coming up to COVID, because I've no opinions on how people pay for the cars. Really makes no odds to me how you pay for it. Makes no difference. But because it was so easy to get a car on the tick, put air on it on the tick, buy a set of wheels on tick, maximum effect straight away on a new car that you can reverse back and not lose any money on. Not lose any money in terms of like
warranty,
you're not chopping it
up, not cutting arches out.
You know,
you're not chassis notching, you're not doing this, you know what I mean? Yeah.
And you know, credit to it, it's a great way to enjoy modified cars in a way that's reversible and quite sensible. So I'm nothing against how people do that. But what we found when COVID hit is people had a lot of spare time, they had a lot more money, and people tended to get a little bit more creative. And then since COVID, interest rates have rocketed. Cars are, like you said, that air ride kit that used to be £300 a month is now £500 a month.
It's almost kind of gone. It's flipped on itself, hasn't it? Because we've started noticing it a lot more. There's that creativity's almost coming back.
It's better than it's ever been.
Yeah. I mean, just from the quality of some of the stuff that you guys have shared, we're like, holy shit, that is quality.
Yeah.
Chris's Escort, prime example.
Yeah.
And then there's others. In fact, other Chris with a Ferrari, you might even know him. He's got a 355. It's on bags.
That was at our Cromford event.
Yeah, in fact, he was. Yeah, so that's
his Instagram tag is Unity Lowrider.
Yes, yeah. So I've known Chris for years. He's quite local to me, and again, like seeing his car there and whatever. And again, it's not the clean. I mean, he won't hate me for this. It's not the cleanest car in the world. No. But their creativity to do what he did. I remember when he first got that Ferrari, he said, I've just bought a Ferrari. I'm like, where the hell did you get the money to buy a Ferrari? And he's told me all about this car and what he's doing. And then he's built it. He was going to put it on hydros at first. And I'm just like, this is insane.
No.
But like seeing that kind of come back, this is why we've been talking about it a lot more. Like, I want to go to a car show again. I want to see.
I'm getting like excited. Like, I want to go.
I want to go. I want to see these cars. I want to get inspo and like start building something again.
The other thing as well is that's had a big contributing factor into why things have changed so much recently. There's a double-edged sword with the internet. Instagram now, if you've got, and this is again no disrespect to anybody that's got anything like this, but let's say a Mark 7 Golf with a set of rotor forms on it, and it's a GTI, just pretty much standard, but air and wheels. That ain't cutting the mustard anymore. Nobody's bothered about seeing that sort of stuff anymore within that all. Nobody. If you've got something like that, you'll be interested.
Yeah.
But people are now looking more towards the wow factor, the statement, the holy shit, somebody's done this to this type thing, playing it a little bit less safe and being a little bit more creative. So we've seen that a lot more, and it's for the it is all changing for the better. But what comes with that is it's not always big budget builds that gets the all the limelight and the respect, certainly not at our events. No. So we have we did an award at one of those events like Home Built Hero or we have one, I guess, going back to like the misters, they go around and pick one called the Driver's Wives Award.
Okay.
So we have a best wheels, best patina build. Everything's sort of categorised in a way to be able to respect every corner of the car.
Yeah.
And
Rather than
make
just
it
being
inclusive
best
in
of
that
show.
way.
There was
Yeah.
one year at Tracks where I upset a few. I won best of show one year at Tracks, 2016.
Oh yeah.
And there was a super part next to mine, the my E36, and like it had thousands spent on it, and like I got the comments and like I think it was on Facebook back then. It was like everyone was just like, "How did this E36 win when it was part next to that Supra?" I was just like, oh, "Okay."
It happens. There's always been kind of that.
There'll always be
hate.
that, but it's all the winners are always going to be somebody's opinion.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So all it is at the end of the day, and like this is not to take away from anybody that's won at our events, because we do put a lot of thought into it, and we categorise the people that judge each category and what their specialist subject is. So Jack, who was a big part of our team, so he's the biggest wheel buff I've ever known in my life. Like, if I know a fair bit about wheels, but Jesus Christ, he takes the piss. Like, that is his thing.
So
you
you
know?
leave that to him.
Yeah, he judges best wheels. Same when it comes to like static builds. He's known for doing seriously good static builds. He picks best static.
Like,
Joe is an engineer, so he does best engineering. And then like John Langley was a part of the team.
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
really
I
into
know.
his British cars.
I know John.
Yeah, photographer John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember him taking pictures of my car years ago when he not long started.
Yeah, John's been with us since day one.
Has he?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
Brilliant guy. So yeah,
It's nice to have
But
that though. It's-
always going to be somebody's opinion, and it's always going to be open to, and there's always stuff that should win, but you can't place it, or it's really difficult. It's tough, but that is also one of the draws of the event, is that the trophies are sick and
Yeah.
people want to win them, and we make a big fuss out of everybody.
Yeah.
It's a big deal for us.
Yeah.
I think that there was this stigma in, especially because I would still call. I feel like, even, I know it's not. I mean, you've got any marquee there. You could have a Ferrari there to afford to whatever else, to a VW camper van. But I feel like this whole scene kind of stems from the VW.
My roots are at the
Yeah,
VW.
and I feel like most people,
I'm not. I've never owned a VW.
Yeah, but that kind of scene, everyone you've hung around with
There's
has
always
always been
been from
VW.
that, yeah.
So that kind of, it's the dub scene, isn't it? And
Yeah.
that's right. And there was this stigma years ago. And again, this is towards the end of when we stopped going to car shows, and that was that it's all not rigged, but it's very clicky. It's very this, it's very that. And we did kind of see that at certain shows. But it's nice to actually see there's now, like I say, it's starting to flip. There's a bit of a reverse now where
certain events, yes, I agree, and I've seen it in past 100%. But and more recently, probably people who've got following is a big thing. So because the show wants the publicity of the person that's
of
got
course,
the following.
yeah, of course.
Well, again, to throw that back to what we do, our best in show for not last year before had 200 followers on Instagram, and it's Clive with his Chevy pickup truck, which was fucking insane.
Yeah.
And I met him just at like a local classic car show.
Yeah.
So no, we don't really think about any of that. It's got to be genuine. It's got to be what's right. But it is a thing. It is
a
it's
thing.
sad.
Yeah.
But I think going back to like when I say I played hockey, not me, man. When you're involved with that, like so and so's doing this with this, or they donate this, or they're
in
sponsor
everything.
a team, so they're in this team, and he's shit and he's in this team, but he's really good and he's ended up in this team because so and so's had an argument with his dad or whatever else. No matter what you're involved with,
It always happens.
it's always the same shit.
It's always the same. It's the same with our industry as well. It's,
Yeah.
there's a lot of it, and that's anywhere and everywhere you go. But it's nice to, like I say, like with your show, it's nice now that there is shows like, and it's not just your show, there is other shows as well that do it, but it's nice to see that it's done. It's inclusive. Everyone's welcome. It doesn't matter who you are.
It's inclusive, but there's got to be an element of exclusivity to it at the same time when people are paying an entry ticket.
Well, this is going back to the quality.
Yeah,
you
the
want
quality-
people, the punters, to come up and see something that is
I
quality.
think the thing that I like to put across is I'm from a working class background. Money don't buy you an in. That's probably our biggest thing. Every year and every event that we have one supercar just to say that I've accepted a supercar. And that is it. Because we want to be inclusive. Money don't buy you an in, but if people want to look at a supercar, well, there is one. That's it.
Was it a modified supercar?
We've had a Huracan that were modified, that were at Magna, a few McLarens it passed, a few bits and bobs. But what you find is if I put like a supercar corner in, because we get loads of supply, if I put a supercar corner in, nobody would be even bothered anyway. They're not there for that. No, they want to meet Mike, who's got an MG with a fucking Jaguar V8 in it with stacks coming out.
This is like us.
We don't care.
We've got a 458. I mean, you saw it earlier in our unit.
Yeah.
Sorry, 458. And we've had quite a few people come in and say, oh,
lovely.
Gorgeous, that's beautiful, this, that. And we're like, we can appreciate it for what it is.
But we just pretty much walk straight past it, just that.
But we would just walk straight past it. And if we see a Beetle that's bagged or whatever it is that's been modified, we're like, it's cool.
Like obviously working here, we go in the storage.
Yeah.
I walked through there. The first thing that I was around was the DC2 Integra.
Yeah.
And look at the cars that are in there.
DC2. Yeah, some of the cars are absolutely incredible.
The M3 CSL is also pretty special as well.
It's got my wheels on at the minute.
Yeah, it's nice.
A stancy boy, but not quite.
One of the things I want to ask you was your marketing and your videos that you do, because obviously you've got the Henderson's Relish sponsor.
How did that come about?
Yeah, how did that come about?
Right, again, Joe, like when I was saying back to like 2021 with the relentlessness and that was it. It was borderline harassment.
Just email them and see.
So what we run a few campaigns, and then when it dies off, I just fire it straight back up again. And like realistically, that was from my nan. So being from Sheffield, if you're from Sheffield, you die hard about Henderson's. That is it.
I have
you
it.
support
My
it
all the time.
Yeah. You support it like right? And if anybody's got like, if you went to somebody's house in Sheffield and they've got Liam Perrins in cupboard, they'd be a
really? That bad.
They'd be a right fallout. So I was like, my dad tried doing it when I was a kid to try and get him to sponsor his hockey team because my dad used to be like the manager of the hockey team or the club or whatever, and he didn't manage to do it. And I was like, well, what is the goal? Like the one? And I was like, it's got to be fucking Endos. It's got to be the one. So, and obviously like, we're pretty proud of where we're from. We don't shy away from it.
Yeah.
We're a little bit rough and ready, but we enjoy having a bit of a laugh with it. So for me, it just kind of fell perfect. So, we got that sponsorship because they didn't reply. This is not their fault entirely because their emails they get a lot of emails. I send them a lot of emails.
Yeah.
I firebombed their premises. I put like 40 flight. I was like, you're going to fucking know who we are one way or another. We run these campaigns where we were like telling people to, when they put a post up, because their following weren't even that big. It was like 15,000. Yeah. When they put a post up, I was putting stuff up and saying, everybody tagged in their posts. So they'd have like 3 or 4 comments that were just normal people that were following them, 40, 50 comments that were all like, you need to go to driver's collection. And what I didn't realise is like this Henderson's are properly still old school.
Yeah.
So it's an older generation that still run it.
Yeah.
It's still hand mixed, all in house. It's bottled in house. They label all in house.
Yeah.
The recipe's in a safe somewhere that's super secret, and there's like 3 people that know it.
Oh wow!
It's like proper old school, how it's still done. Yeah. So it like in Sheffield, it's almost like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Nobody knows the ins out. I'd be.
Everyone wants a ticket.
Yeah. So everyone's like, oh, I wonder what it's. Especially when it used to be at the old building that was in town. Because it was made in the same cottage for like over 100 years.
Okay. Wow.
Still in the city centre of Sheffield, up until recently when the university bought the building.
Yeah.
Apparently now it's going to be a pie restaurant, which is, we're still all tagged up with it still as the building was, because it's listed, and they're going to turn it into something that's to do with Henderson's Relish. So yeah, pure bombardment.
Yeah.
And then the last one that we did I gave it a fucking right good going, basically. And I was like messaging, just tag us in it. And then I ended up getting a message so it's co-owned by a brother and sister. And it was the son of the sister, Zach, who then just dropped me a DM on Instagram. And it just went from there. So we had a long conversation.
Younger generation to actually
notice what we were doing and saying like, these guys are guerrilla, like this is guerrilla tactics, and he's been trying to get on them about their social media presence, much like I have been here. Try and bring it like up to date, and it just all fell into place. And Zach, he's genuinely going into that. You kind of like, this is like again, Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. So you're like, I hope everybody's sound. I hope it's not full of dickheads and it ruins the symphony. And everybody's, when we did the film, they were like, Zach's were like, I'm so game for all this. Absolutely loved it. And they ended up doing, before it got released online, they had a family do, and they projected it on the wall and did like a premiere at there. So the full family watched the video.
Can we put a clip of that in this video? Is that right? It's a funny video.
So we funnily enough, because Chris showed us last year, because he was saying, because obviously we started doing a few bits for ourselves. And then obviously we started talking about Driver's Collection. He goes, oh, watch this. These lads are brilliant. And he obviously mentioned you. Then he showed us that video, the Source Stick Up. And we pissed ourselves. We were like, this is brilliant. Then recently when we came in, when you first started here for Lewis's Tacona meet here. So yeah, I think I was talking to the missus because she'll be a huge fan of you. You'll both get on. So she's originally from Leicester. She's still from Leicester, but she went to uni in Sheffield.
Right.
She's a diehard. She loves Sheffield. Like she just spent last weekend in Sheffield going back out with her mates. I love Sheffield as well. Every time we go up there, absolutely love it. And she is a diehard fan of Sheffield. So for us, again, in our fridge, we've always got those. So of course I started and I told her about Driver's Collection connection with Hendo's, and I was like, I'm trying to find the video, and then I showed her. Oh my God, it just the laughs is so funny, funny.
So like our videos and our skits, what we've kind of become known for, really. So like when we first started doing this for the first few years, I wouldn't even do the awards. Jack used to do the awards. I was super uncomfortable on stage, in front of cameras, all that sort of stuff, and then just gradually. A case of having to and putting two together that people want to see a face something. And then when Jack moved away, it was like, oh shit, like kind of what are we going to do? Because he is a massive part of what we do. So then I was like, well, I'll step up and I'll face it, because I know what as like a creative director in it almost is probably in the terms of the marketing. Chloe does in the clothing and the branding and all that sort of stuff, but the direction how I want us to be seen is really through what I think. And then I work with Tyler, who was actually, I don't remember a time when I don't know Tyler. He's my best mate from being a kid. So his mum used to babysit me at nursery. We're like brothers. So he was a graphic designer, and he'd come back from uni from London and moved back up north. And he was like, I want to get involved with doing the show stuff. I love like all the the guy still hasn't got a fucking clue about cars, but he loves it. He loves the community. He loves all the people he's met. Loves like everybody knows who he is when he's walking around with his camera and all that, and knows that he's Loaf Media. So he's a big like involvement, and basically me and him either drink beers, loads of caffeine, and Chinese food, and we come up with these like we call them the smooth brain ideas. Basically, we hammer back and forth. Like pure ADHD, and sometimes we'll like record it or write it all down or whatever. All these ideas of we could do this, we could do that, whatever else. He shoots it. I do a bit of directing, a bit of writing, and we sort of collaborate on it all. But the editing is purely him. When we're editing, we have these editing nights, and we just have loads of Chinese and caffeine and just smash through loads of editing and that, and have a right good laugh with it, basically, because we just like. Some of the stuff that we end up going back and forth on. It just gets fucking stupid.
It's like doing in that, isn't it? Having that creative side and
the characters and the personas that all come from what people don't realize is the characters come from the cars.
Yeah.
So at the time when we did the Jeffrey one, did you watch the Magna
Jeffrey one?
Yeah, I had a character called Jeffrey that had like corduroys, boots on.
Your pants. That one.
No, that was Down and Out Dave. That was another
character with fingering, wasn't it? What was it again?
No, that was the year.
What was the fingering one?
The no fingering campaign. About people touching cars. Like you bark rules at people, and people don't fucking listen. Yeah. So you make everything into a full weight piss tape. Yeah. People listen. Remember. And I'm more comfortable with that being too serious. So it's always like the fallback is to like, well, if I just make a tit of myself, then I can't make a tit of myself.
Yeah.
I'm in on it. So that's it.
It's the whole Eminem thing in 8 Mile, isn't it?
Diss myself so no one can diss me.
No one can fucking
no one can
say what you want.
Laughing with you. 100%.
And it's just water off a duck's back, really. But yeah, the Jeffrey character one, if you go back, that was the Magna event, the campaign for that. And we kind of had this day booked in for filming, but Magna didn't even know about it. So we just turned up with the cameras and we're like, we're going through the exhibition, so we're going to do some filming for his event, whatever else. All right, sound. Yep, no problem. And I went through the wardrobe and I was like, I had a Volvo 740, D20 foot, like a diesel Volvo estate at the time. I was like, well, what type of person would drive this car? And Bag of Worms originals, an A to Z, corduroys, like some absolute gash coat with it, and the glasses and everything. And I basically was like a dodgy geography teacher. Was the whole idea. So going through the exhibit and being like an educational 90s, do you know, like sort of the film that you'd put on it, like somebody would show you at school. And it was from like the 80s or the 90s. And you're like, what is this shit? That was the whole basis of it all. And say some weird stuff like there's this big hole in there, the melting room they called it. And I just scream tits in it just for the echo and stuff like that. Just go around and just act stupid and do stupid shit and tie it into this character. It went off. Yeah. So it had like 30,000 views on Instagram, but we couldn't promote it. So we couldn't even run any ad on it because the video was too long.
Right.
So it had like pure natural. At the time, we had like 9,000 followers or whatever on Instagram. So it went, for us, it went ballistic. Yeah. And then we're like, well, we're going to have to follow this up. So we're like, right, well, how can we do it? We can, whatever else. Brainstorm again, me and Tyler had a load of caffeine. Come up with these different ideas. And I was like, I have these like things, which I'm not going to say about, but I have these like things in my head of like not. So I think a lot of people look at achievements financially, whereas I never really have. I have like these daft goals. Wouldn't it be cool to be able to one day be able to do this or do that? So one of them was I wanted a banner that was bigger than my house. We did that. That at the time. Well, it still is. The side of my house, that banner is bigger than the side of my house because I measured my house. Wow. So just to be like, we've had a banner that's bigger than my house.
And you know what I'm picturing right now is your house with a huge banner.
Well, yeah, you can hang it on banner. It's fucking huge. If you look back at the Magna in Cromford, it's the one that was. So everybody thought it was superimposed on.
Oh, yes.
That's a real banner.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So it was like I bought a banner bigger than my house. One of the other ones was Sheffield Parkway. There's a billboard, a digital billboard that I used to drive past every day on my way to work.
Yeah, I think
you'd sit in traffic and look at this billboard. And I was like, one day I want a fucking billboard, like with a driver's collection billboard. But then I thought, well, it's quite expensive. So what can we do to get the most out of this billboard? And we ended up ringing and petting like, yeah, will we do it? Can we have it for this amount of time at this time slot? So I wanted to make sure that my boss at the time, me and him are still really good friends, James, where I worked, and I wanted him to see it was the thing. So I was like, one day I want James to see this billboard one night when he's going or whatever and not tell him about it type thing. And they're like, well, what are we going to do? And I'm like, well, just a normal billboard just with your logo on. Yeah, it's a dick swing for us, but it's not very yours. It's not very yours. Yeah. So I put myself on the toilet on it. So I was dressed as Jeffrey on the toilet.
So
on the
that was
billboard.
allowed then.
Yeah, they let it was obviously there was no nudity.
Yeah.
I still had my pants on, but you couldn't see.
Yeah,
The trousers around like that, and then I had even the coat on, the full get up, with the flyers in my hand like that. Sat on the toilet, and that was at Ultimate Dubs. That was in the Telford. The photos from the Telford International Hotel that Joe took all the photos of. So. We then made that into like a marketing video, like Jeffrey's gone rogue, this like side character but then I was in the video as me.
Yeah.
And then we made out like, this is this guy that's like just almost like a split personality type situation where at weekends I might be Jeffrey.
It gets the attention though, doesn't it?
That went even further.
Yeah.
The first one. But I'm not one to overuse a joke, and I like a good character. So we've had a few. There was the no fingering campaign that went well. Then the down and out Dave one was because before I worked here I had a 2000 C class Merc W202 as a daily. It was just, as you would imagine, rusty, bit of a piece of shit,
of course,
really. But cool enough, like type thing. I was like, right, well, what type of character would own this car? And all I could picture was like a down and out ex-window salesman that's like going through a divorce, is a bit down on his luck, might hint towards having a bit of an alcohol problem or something, like just building this sort of character up of this person that's really down.
Real background to all these characters.
I have to get fully
you like
it's full.
They call it like method actor.
Method actor.
Just sitting there getting into character.
But that's the best bit is that character was thought about. But the day before we filmed the first, the Sheffield video, like the one that we did where we did like a tour around Sheffield, we all went out on the piss the night before, and then we started filming it at like 1-2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was still ill. I was still properly ill, and I'm like, well, it's a good job I'm playing this guy, because I ain't like, and then just basically say like that your favourite spot is like the Toby Carvery on the Unston bypass, or like just completely doing a tour of the terrible bits. And then that led on to the one with no trousers. There seems to be a bit of a theme here about not having trousers.
Yeah, there seems to be.
Well, it's fucking good, man. I love it.
It's fun.
I love it.
It's fun. We started it with last year, just doing a few little skits here or then.
Yeah.
And it's like, we've done our serious stuff.
I feel like we're copying now. We've got a character.
We've got Jeffrey.
I don't even know why that came about.
It's just
It just randomly happened, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's because we were doing a Pin My Ride thing. So that E39.
Yes.
So we were doing a full web.
Brad showed me the intro.
Yeah. So we did a Pin My Ride thing. So again, we got a Jeffrey involved. We had 8 on.
Jeffrey
He's the go-to, the Jeffrey character. You've got
Jeffries. Shout out to Jeffries out there.
Yeah. You're not all geography teachers or nerds, I'm sure. I'm sure there's some cool Jeffries out there. And Dave's on down and out. My dad's called Dave. So
is he?
name's Dave. So, yeah. But yeah, just kind of, the big thing is like, I'm never going to be a billionaire from any of this, and I don't intend to be.
Just have fun with it along the way.
I work here. This is my job.
Yeah.
This is that is a passion project that allows me to be able to do cool stuff with my friends and have fun doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So when my ethos of it all is like when I'm already grey and I'm already a bit old, but when I'm really old and fucked and grey, and I like look back at my time, I'm like,
so you did that?
Yeah, we did some fucking stupid shit, some cool stuff that we put ourselves on a billboard on the toilet, or we did like been in a plane and done stunts in a plane.
Are the pictures of that readily available?
Yeah. It was my.
To insert
I know.
It was my. Do you know, like on Facebook, where you have your cover photo? I did the full thing. Hang on, one sec. I'll find.
I'm gonna have to see this.
It was my cover photo on Facebook for ages. I was so fucking proud of it.
Oh, that could.
Oh, there you go. So that's what was on the billboard.
Brilliant.
That is brilliant.
She's like, are you going to put it on the thing?
I'm going to put that in.
I was
Yeah.
like, I can show it on there. But yeah, that was on the billboard. Yeah. But like rush hour, Sheffield Parkway, gridlock traffic.
It's a
Fucking brilliant.
great way of doing it.
So good. I was so happy with it.
that for Derby, aren't we?
I took my missus for her birthday, actually. We went for some food. I was like, oh, do you want to go and see the billboard on like the first night? She's like, how romantic.
Well, how long was it up there for then?
A couple of weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So we had
okay.
to get it up.
Oh, what? But
to
it
be-
only goes up at a certain time every day?
Yeah, so it cycles through.
Yeah.
So it was on a rotation of like 4 or 5.
Is it just one of those like LED?
Yeah, one of the
light-up
LED
things?
ones, yeah. But we had to put it up for a period of time to be able to film the video because the ending of the video has the billboard. on it.
Ah, I see.
So we're like, film the whole thing, the billboard's going live at this date, and then go back to film the ending of the film with the billboard in and try
I
and
see.
release it as soon as possible,
Yeah.
basically. It's
Like
like
when,
a full military operation.
Like when artists have like their concert in the music video, and you're like,
Yeah,
hold on,
yeah, yeah,
how
yeah.
do the people know this song
Yeah,
there in
yeah,
the
yeah,
audience?
I'm gonna I need a piss really bad.
Go for it.
You two carry on.
We've not got long left anyway. Right,
All right,
so
we can wrap up when I get back.
27 minutes.
You know, as soon as you started talking about sitting on the toilet,
You need a way.
that
just
straight
came.
away, I was like, boom. I was like, uh-oh.
I'm going to pour a cup of
I'm
water.
going to wee myself.
Yeah.
But this is another thing about getting old. So what are you, 30 now? 30?
Yeah, 30, yeah.
I tell you what, the older you get, the worse it becomes.
The week bladder.
It's honestly
Do you wake up in the middle of the night?
No.
Oh, do you not? I
No.
do.
No.
Luckily, I don't.
Do you not?
Luckily, I don't.
Usually like
no.
4 o'clock. I'm like,
I'll down. See, the thing is, I drink water before I go to bed, and as soon as I get up as well. Usually about a pint. And the reason I drink, like, especially if I need to wake up early in the morning,
no, because it'll wake you up.
I will wake up then at like 5:30, 6 o'clock, which is about when I'll be getting up. So it's great. Down. But during the day, well, you know, I'm like, I'm constantly back and forth to the toilet. I drink a lot of water, but like,
I'm always dehydrated. So.
yeah, I know. He drinks Red Bulls all day.
No, I don't have one a day.
You've
have
massive
caffeine.
caffeine.
Yeah, I can't say anything about coffee.
You just have
I
coffee
drink
all
a lot
day.
of
See, I don't
coffee.
really like coffee.
Yeah, the energy drinks are saved for special occasions. Like, got a
Yeah.
job on in garage at home.
Yeah.
I need to motor through and get this welding done or something along those lines.
Oh, 100%. That's
Yeah.
when that's.
You need
I
it when
don't
it's
think
just
caffeine
the
affects
turbo
me.
when you need it. That's what you save it for, not be. But coffee, yeah.
I can't live
Tons
without
of it.
coffee. See, it's a weird one because I don't feel like caffeine affects me, but can't go without coffee. In the mornings,
does then?
I get a bit. Well, that's the thing.
It doesn't overstimulate you, but you can't function without it.
Yeah, it's a really weird one. Like in the morning, I have to have a coffee. I get really grouchy if I don't have one. But if I need to stay up or whatever, I can have a coffee now. Fine, I'll have one at 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night. It doesn't matter. I'll still sleep.
Drink loads of coffee has a massive effect on me. Like,
Really?
fully, but yeah,
Even
I'm
though
not
you drink it all the
alive to
time?
be out it. In the morning.
Really.
Yeah. Buzzing. Love it. Get loads done. ADHD'd up to fuck. Not being able to concentrate on anything. Just like, yeah, love it. Love it. But that's how you get shit done.
Yeah.
Well, there is that.
I've drank a lot of coffee this first 2.5 weeks. I know that.
That coffee machine's been rinsed.
Rinsed. Yeah. The flask, 3 flasks a day.
So before we let you go, obviously you've joined. We've not even touched on the fact you've joined Great.
Oh
Northern
yeah, we need
Classics
to.
now.
Yeah, let's do this.
We said,
It's like-
we said that you work here now, but we're like,
Yeah, I
no,
work
no,
here
we
now.
just went
Where's
straight
here?
to some
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the thing with this sort of stuff. It always ends up in
yeah.
tangents and stuff, don't you? But
Yeah.
yeah, I work here now. Yeah, it's good. I like it.
What are you doing officially?
What is your role? Yeah.
Yeah, so I've done 15 years of panel beating, and now I do events and marketing.
Well, you've had experience in it.
Yeah, I know, like-
Part-time experience. You know, it's
So yeah, I mean, I still enjoy doing what I did before.
Yeah.
But it's a long story. But I'm not without like my own physical disabilities.
Yeah.
And in 30, my chiropractor said to me, "You basically need to sort your shit out, man, because
Okay.
another 10 years of doing what you're doing, and you're going to be in a bad way."
Yeah.
So at this point now, where my missus got a decent job, she's doing really, really well. and I can afford to just take a little bit of a gamble in my career. Right, well, it's sort of now or never do type thing. And to be fair, like where I worked before, they for a period of time, we were fully on the same. They knew that I was looking at doing something different. Like James and Ed are still very good friends of mine. And I still recommend them to anybody for work because the work that we knocked out there were fucking sick. So, sad in some ways that it's the only thing that I've ever done is old car. Is literally working on old tin. And I know I'll miss it, but it'll mean that I'll enjoy it when I do it. If I do bits for myself, if I go back there and help those guys
Well, you've
out.
got a skill that you're never going to lose.
Even down to, I quite fancy just like buying and selling a few cars and doing some bits like that.
Well, you've already just bought your first car, haven't you?
I've just bought a car today, another one. Well,
should I not have said that?
Yeah, it depends if the wife listens. I'll have to tell her. Right?
Is she going to get this far into this? Like,
well, the theme is right. So this is the theme of. So we're at that age where you do a lot of stag do's and hen do's. Everybody's getting married. It was a running joke that every time my missus went on an hen do, I bought a car. And I'd not tell her and just surprise her when she come home. Or so there was one, I bought a Volkswagen Santana. And I showed it the morning that she was going, it was Chloe, Liam, who we run the show with. It was Chloe's hen do, I believe, or Katie's, one or the other. And in the morning before she was leaving, I'd been looking at it the day before this car. And before she was leaving, I was like, what do you think to that? She's like, that's cute. That was it. Sound. Right. So then I went and picked her up from town. She was tatered. I had the Volvo at the time as well. Picked her up. She got in the car. Her, Fran, and one of the other lasses got in the car. All of them thought it was the Volvo. They didn't even know. So we got all the way home. And then our last looked over and she was like, steering wheel's different. I'm like, yeah, it is, yeah. It's not just that. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I've owned this 6 hours. Fucking clueless. Absolutely clueless. But that's happened, how many times? 3 or 4 times.
So she's used to it now then?
Yeah, but she went on a hen do at the weekend, just gone.
Oh, so you're overdue.
Yeah, so she was away Saturday, Sunday. I didn't buy anything that weekend.
Oh shit, well that's the weekend though, innit?
I've waited till Tuesday.
Yeah, you get working days and all
fine.
that. Yeah, it's no biggie.
So yeah, I'm half owner of an MG midget.
Oh, Sam. As you do.
As you do, yeah. So yeah. Been here 2.5 weeks. I'm already off buying cars with other people who work here. I've known Andrew 2.5 weeks.
That's showing commitment.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but I've also only just got rid of that Merc, and then I could do with selling that Toyota that I've got as well. If anybody wants to buy a 1990 Toyota Corolla, I could do with getting rid of that.
Oh, well, you came to one of your interviews in that, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. It's a cool motorcycle. I don't really want to sell it. Nice. One of those. If I want to do I want to own this for a bit. I want to own this for a bit and keep going and do the jobs on it.
So I've got some nice cars from what we've seen.
Yeah, it's just a build up to the next. Yeah. That's kind of how I've always done it. Is like buy something that needs a bit of work, do some work on it, right? Even if I don't really make a profit on it as such, the money that I spend on it while I've had it is almost like a savings pot. Like you can swallow 100 quid out your wages on something or whatever each month, build it up, and then all of a sudden I've got this thing that's now worth 4 or 5 grand. Sell that for 5 grand. Get the next thing that needs some work at 5 grand. Build that up, get that, and then build it. And
this is something that we've just never done because we always fall in love with the car that we have.
We fall in love with the car, and then run it into the ground.
Quite literally.
I had that DA1 Integra, and I owned it twice. So I bought it the first time from a guy in Bradford. Did a full repaint on it, loads of welding, engine work, all sorts of stuff. Put BC coilovers on it, set of wheels. Did that. Again, didn't really make any money from it, but sold it. And then it had been the guy who I sold it to left it and didn't really use it, sold it to somebody else with an MOT on it. Then the guy just let the MOT run out. Well, I seen it come back up for sale, sent him a cheeky offer, and literally, because I was like, I've done all the fucking work on this car.
You know the car.
I know the car. 4 hours down, sent him a deposit, drove it back, redid some bits of work that they fucked up from it being sat and all that lot. And then bought it back and moved that on. And I really didn't want to sell that car because I really liked it. It was a really good car. But then I'm like, well, I need to cash out of this and it just keeps going like that, really. And so on and so on. And then that's pretty much how I got to the Porsche, the
Yeah.
912.
That is gorgeous.
Yeah, it is.
But then
It's gorgeous.
again, that was the same thing. I took a big gamble on that. It didn't really run when I bought
Yeah.
it. Gearbox was, and a gearbox one of those was like $4,000, and the gearbox was untested. The wiring was a mess. There was all sorts of stuff that really could have got me unstuck on that, and I just took the biggest gamble of my life to buy it, and then got a little bit lucky in terms that it weren't loads of money to fix it. It was loads of time to get stuff over the line, welding work, wiring, few daft bits. Like I spent 350 quid on a fucking indicator stalk that didn't work. To then work out that it weren't actually the indicator stalk, that it worked in the sense that one didn't work then. But it didn't work in a different way. So I knew that there was a wiring fault, basically. Right. So that's painful. And just keep going with that, just keep trying to level up each time and turn an average one into a good one. And
I know this is we need to do that.
Let's get too attached.
We get too attached.
My 36 I had it for 8 years.
Yeah,
I've had 40 odd cars. I'm 30 years old. I've 40 odd.
See, I was kind of chopping and changing a lot to start off with, and then it just kind of just stayed and stuck.
Because you get a car and you're like, me and you are like, we like reliability.
Yeah, see, for me,
good old 3-litre diesel, that'll last me 20 years.
It can push you into a corner, that though. If you get something and then you're like, I'm going to throw the bucket at this to make it absolutely... I've just done it with that Alpina that I bought. I bought that and I was like...
I saw you had a load of bits repainted on it and stuff
I did the bumpers on it. The quarters could do with doing, to be fair, but new turbo, clutch, flywheel, big up Phoebe Bilstein for that. Sorted me out with the clutch. Went through it all, spent a fortune on it. Now I'm like, well, I can't sell it, which is good because I would otherwise. Yeah. Not that it's a bad car, it's just that
you just wanted.
I'm like,
flip it.
Yeah, I'd see something else, and then now I'm more money in it than it's worth.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not selling it now, so it'll make me keep on to it. But back to GNC. That's what it was on about.
GNC, we keep doing it. ADHD. ADHD all over.
Yeah.
I was going to end it by just saying,
what? Have you stood this a bit?
Any new videos of content you see, it's from you, basically.
Yeah, so the all the new social stuff, the events and the market on the events, and really just changing... Not a complete change in direction over what was there before, because the ethos of this place is one of the reasons I came.
Yeah.
I truly believe that everybody that's involved with GNC are proper car enthusiasts. That what they're doing here is for the good of the car community, and it wants to be a space where people can enjoy. But people need to know about it, and they don't at the minute. Yeah. So the marketing tactics is just to soften this place up a little bit more and really show the character through of actually how it is in here, whereas that's not really being shown. Who's here? What's here? Who's here? Who are the characters? Who's working here? What? Like such as you got like Muttley, who works here on weekends. Literally, man, that guy he's amazing.
Well, bear in mind, you were talking about earlier on, taking it all the way back, when you were talking about getting greeted.
Yeah.
So when we first came, he was the one that greeted us
We'd never forget that, even if...
We'll never forget it. Because that
friendly face.
Well, it was the friendly face, and it was just how we did it.
It was the way he parked us.
It was brilliant. We'll have to do
He's got some sort of like Dragon Ball Z sort of...
Stop!
Gets you into a space.
Right, yeah.
It's incredible. You're going to have to get him to demonstrate at some point.
But even if we didn't come here to have a unit and we'd never came here again, we'd still always remember that.
Yeah. And if you cut my wrist, I'll bleed 99 octane.
Yeah.
That's,
I don't know how many times he's used that.
But the guy's a charmer.
Yeah, he is.
A friendly face, and there's loads of characters throughout this place, such like you guys. And then you've got like even like Dan, who's the caretaker. He's like a caretaker. Bill, he was one of the guys that was the builders of this site, and then they took him on. I'm sure you won't mind me saying this. He is fucking fantastic. Like as a character, he's a nutter in the best possible way. So we need to show people that this place has got a heart that's beating.
It's got personality.
It's got personality, and there's some character behind it, rather than what people have probably seen in the past is a little bit sort of not you don't really
Corporate,
see. Maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
But also, you've not seen past the logo or
it's not just a car storage facility.
It's not. It's
Yeah.
really not.
They're really, I mean, we've said it before since moving here. Just getting that love back for what I was talking about earlier, the whole kind of the car scene, the community, and this, that, and that. It is literally through us meeting people.
Yeah.
Meeting you and meeting the likes of Brad Abby, and just a lot of the other tenants here, and you just realise that we're all car enthusiasts. We might not all like the same car.
No. Well, you look at. So that's one of the things that I've really enjoyed about working here. One, I can't sing Abby or Brad's praises enough about what they do here, because unbelievably clued up, very good at what they do, and they've been absolutely fantastic with me. Coming from a world where I literally don't use a laptop.
Yeah.
I've never.
Of course,
I've always done everything off my phone.
Yeah.
So in terms of like all that sort of stuff, they've been absolutely brilliant. But you look in that office, so got me in there that's come from a background of doing, realistically, modified classic car shows and stand shows.
Yeah,
really.
Nancy boys,
Yeah. And like my taste in cars is basically the majority is 70s, 80s and 90s, I would say is like my even though the Porsche's 69, but you know. So that's like my sort of thing.
Yeah.
Brad, who again, he's operations manager here. He's got an E36 BMW. He's got the Holden.
He's got the
Russian
Hiace.
the Hiace, a Russian ambulance.
Yeah.
That he shares with his dad. He's E30. Have I said he's E36? E36.
What else has he got? There was something else he mentioned he had. Sure there was.
So that's just like basically, realistically, an operations manager in a big building like this could be anybody. Yeah. You don't have to have an interest in cars, but
there's an interest.
There is, and that's why he works here. That's why he's decided to come and work here.
Yeah.
And then Abby, who is like in sales, marketing, and kind of our work underneath. She's a fucking race driver.
Yeah. But her car taste is completely opposite.
Completely,
When we were talking to her earlier, and we was like, Abby, why don't you just come onto our podcast, have a chat? And she was like, I know nothing about cars.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to.
She'll not mind me saying she's like got posh car taste. She's
private
posh.
school. She's private school.
Yeah. I wasn't going to out her on
She can't agree.
I wasn't going to out her. I was just going to call her posh because it's a running thing. But like earlier on, she was like, oh yeah, one time we were at this restaurant and I accidentally set the menu on fire with the candles. All like, I don't know. I've never been to a restaurant with candles. I have candles at Five Guys.
Laminated menus.
Yeah, laminated menus. So she's got the MG Midget, which she races. Lotus, is it
the
Elise?
Yeah.
The Elise. And she.
It was a few weeks ago. You put in the winter wheels on your BM, and she was like, and you lowered it down. Obviously, we dropped it down because the smaller wheels. It was even closer to the floor. She was like, "You can't drive it like that, can you? Surely not."
No, is it broken?
And even George, a fellow, was like, "You can't drive that like that."
Oh yeah, drive it daily.
Different world.
Completely different world.
Super clued up, and some of the stuff that she tells me about, like, not necessarily like, so she'll work on the car with her dad, which is fucking mint.
Yeah.
But her driving, the stuff with her driving and the technical stuff that she knows about, like when she races at Donington and stuff like that. All right.
She said something about Formula One earlier. She said someone's name, and I was like, "What?" She went, "Who? Such and such." I can't remember who it was now.
Yeah,
he's the
and I was like, "I don't know you're about."
We don't crazy.
Oh yeah.
Crazy
insane.
Knowledgeable, yeah.
But that's what I mean. Everyone's got their own.
Yeah, they've got their own
Jodie
thing
as well, who's Jap.
Sorry, just Jodie.
Well, she's not Jap.
Jap. She got so Jodie that works in the office that does like admin, payroll, all that sort of stuff. Really, I'll be honest with you, I don't really know what her job title is because she's just a fucking load.
Yeah.
Like,
I know she's the mum of the office.
She's brilliant.
Yeah.
And she's got two Skylines.
And daily drives Suzuki Swift. Everything's Jap.
Yeah. But then she got into that through her dad, who was a big car guy.
Yeah.
And then right down to like the director, Sean, that's got his Elvis and all his other toys that he's got and stuff that will be able to tell you exactly the inner workings of how a shop works, every single part. And
it's why the propeller in his turbo is a certain type of propeller and whatever else.
He's a walking Ains manual for every single car.
Yeah, he literally is.
He is, and it is fascinating, absolutely fascinating. So that again on tangents again about describing every single person's personality that's in here. It's got a beating heart, and there's some real good people here that we need to show that this 100%. Is a welcoming place and a good place for you to have your car meetings, bring your car clubs and get involved. The cafe's changed now, and which has been a big thing. Tim was fantastic who ran it before, as we spoke about before. What a brilliant guy he is. But the menu's changed now, and everything's a little bit different, bit quicker, a little bit more to get through the public, to get through the amount of people that need serving. So there's things that are changing. We're trying to warm it up, and that's the direction that
it's already going in the right direction.
It's already changing in here a little bit as well.
Yeah, so. I mean, obviously, people watching this can't see or listen to this can't see it, but already
there's a car just there.
A lot better. Yeah, there's a car.
There didn't used to be.
I don't know what it is.
People come here for the cars on display to look over into storage, and obviously the history of the building, and this being, which is why this is called the Tram Shed Cafe, is that this was a tram depot. In one stage of its life, there's all sorts of history that they casted a certain. Sean will go fucking ballistic.
Yeah, they built
but it's some sort of like.
It was a steel foundry for a lot of bridges.
They also developed a type of casting for the Rolls Royce engines next door that was during the war, Rodney.
During the war,
they had like a canopy over to hide it. It was like a secret, secret project that they put there so that the Germans didn't know that it was happening. And it's to do with I'm sure. I want to say it's magnesium. It's magnesium casting that they developed that was there. There's all sorts of stuff that's happened here that brings people in.
The history here.
The history of the building.
It's insane,
And the combination of that view, being able to look over the workshops and the super rare cars that are on display. It's just getting it.
It's a hidden gem.
It's a hidden gem.
It's a massively hidden gem. This is the kind of place where you see that Instagram video of like, we found this hidden gem, like tucked away in Derby, on Osmaston Road, and it's like, there's random. This, there's that. Yeah, exactly. This is what that place is, and like I say, I think, well, we've been here for the last almost a year now, doing the same, just trying to get the word out there of this place, and now I think the team is growing. Yeah, I think this place will boom.
It's good. It's good. 100%. It's a good group that's here. And like I say, I took the big life changes for me in terms of commute, job. It's just so fucking different, realistically, to anything that I've ever done before. And how everybody's been, and how welcoming everybody's been, and how open to sort of ideas that I've had or whatever year has been brilliant, really. Yeah. So, yeah, hopefully we can make this place have a bit more soul for this summer.
100%. 100%. Bring on Drivers Collection at GNC.
We're going to wrap it up. We've got 2 minutes left.
Right, yeah.
Anything we need to say or do? Or
So Drivers Collection, tickets on sale now.
Tickets are on sale now. Applications are open.
Yeah.
We'll put our link in our description and stuff like that. So.
And then, we're at GNC, we're launching new in-house events. Yeah. So we've got one called Talk and Tea. Yeah. The Saturday shift.
When is Talk and Tea again?
Talk and Tea is this Sunday coming.
Yeah, unfortunately, this won't be out by then. Unfortunately,
not. No. So that was last Sunday. It was a big success. But next Saturday will be Saturday shift.
Okay.
And then the Sunday after that is the Tacona meet. And basically what we're trying to do is just cater and put some inclusive events on and just show that this place is open to all. And it's a broad church, and get people to come and see it, really. Most of the events are free entry, but there's like I think it's $150 an hour parking. But like certain ones that we put on, like the Tacona one is free.
It's free, yeah.
But yeah, it's good. There's big plans, talking with a lot of good friends and trying to get some
Oh,
people
we'll
here to
get you
try and
back
in.
on and
I'm excited for this year. It should be
in
good.
a couple of months,
In a
and
couple of months if I've not been sacked.
then
That won't happen.
Hopefully not.
We won't let it. We'll go on strike if that happens.
Hopefully not. But yeah.
Right.
So
Pleasure.
Cool.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Thank you
See
for
you on the
coming
next
on.
one.
Yeah.
Peace
Cheers.
out.
Bye.